All right, last question for both of y'all, Jordan and Keisha. All right, do you think a rapper? We talking about rapper, just hip hop. Do you think a rapper could be successful nowadays in 2026 without having a record label back them or a label? As far as based on these components, marketing, say they market themselves, they got the bomb personality, they got good music, and they got good beats. Do you think a rapper by themselves could pull that off without anybody behind them backing them and be successful nowadays?
What's your definition of being successful?
When I say successful, I mean like they have millions and millions of followers, millions of listeners, millions of viewers. They got a fan base, maybe a couple tours, or not necessarily worldwide tours, but maybe like local tours, tours around the country
So you saying if an artist didn't have the big guns, basically,
behind them, backing
behind
them.
them, could they just be able to be successful?
If they had all that up to a T,
Uh huh.
if they had awesome music off the charts,
Mm-hmm.
crazy music, crazy beats,
Mm-hmm.
and a crazy, like, good personality. They are very likable.
But just not the marketing.
Yeah, just not the marketing from a. Well, they will have to do their own marketing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they got a song that spreads on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Do you think somebody could be successful like that nowadays?
It'll take time, and
Okay.
it'll actually show you who has talent and who don't.
Okay.
And I say that because now a lot of labels just be picking up anybody that can put money in their pockets. And that's just because there's a lot of artists who
How
got this
how
song
how much
before.
time do you think it would take per se?
Eh, for an artist to get up to a certain level, it would probably take probably years.
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 Okay.
Only because, like you said, they don't have the big old record label behind them telling them what they should put out this month or how much music or like the amount of music they should put out this month or this year or whatever the case may be. They're doing it by themselves, so everything is up to them. Their consistency of it, their production of it, their just basically everything.
Okay.
Especially if they're doing everything by themselves.
How you feel, Jordan?
Um, so I think it's definitely possible, but I think they're capped out at a certain point.
And they're
And
gonna need help at a certain point.
right, and what I mean by that, like, you can definitely because multiple creators have done it. Like, you could definitely get off. Like, yeah, like Keisha said, you'll need to work really hard and do your own marketing. Do your own advertisement. Be really talented, of course, because you don't have the algorithm and stuff helping you at least at a certain point yet. But once you get to a certain point, like the industry just is too powerful. You know what I mean? Like they control what people see, what people don't see en masse. So like your stuff, may or may not get played on the radio. I mean, unless you request it, they're gonna pay. They're gonna because the record labels are gonna pay the money. Hey, play our stuff. Do this song, right? It's all about money. And I think just there's like certain monopolies of music companies. They're too powerful. You know what
But
I
what
mean?
about back in the day? You think that was just back in the day and you don't even
I,
work no
I
more?
think you have a better
I
chance.
mean, back in the day, they could do it without the record label. Like guys sold albums out the trunk. They went on tours. They booked clubs.
I think
Like,
honestly,
you
I
think
would
those days are dead?
I would argue that you had a better chance now than you do back then because of the internet. Because back then they really had a grip on the industry. Now creators can kind of like can sustain themselves with, but like
No,
it's
but that's
all
what I'm saying. Like back in the day, like Master P and some of them other artists, they sold their albums out the trunk. They went to the clubs. They got their shows booked. They went to wherever. They built a fan base, and then the record labels came to them.
let me put it like
You know?
this. I think they would become more successful on the aspect of the bluntness that they would receive.
What do
So
you
their
mean?
success would actually be success and not a record label holding their hand throughout the whole entire thing.
That's a good answer.
So
It take a
they
lot of your money
actually
too.
Exactly.
Jeez.
They'll actually be successful. They'll actually be making profit off of what they're making.
Yeah.
They'll actually be making and feeling a certain way about what they're making, not a record label telling them what to do, what not to do, how to act in public, how you should be in this environment. You need to go to this event this way, whatever the case may be. No, they're doing it themselves.
If they're
selling
able
it
to get to that point,
themselves.
though, if they're able to get that point, because I kind of feel like the record label, it's two roads. You have doing it by yourself, and that's the narrow road that's traveled by few, but it's harder, but the payoff is more, like quite literally. But you have the wide and spacious road where it's like you go down this path, it's easier and quicker, but to a some like in a way you're kind of selling your soul.
Your
like
pockets are gonna get raped.
I think you
you're
get
gonna-
more success.
And you compromising yourself.
I
Exactly.
think you get more successful if you let them come to you and you not go to them.
Well, they're gonna come to you if you get a certain point.
You can come. You can come to them, but what I'm saying is you gonna have a buzz, but it's better to have the buzz on your own and you create that foundation of your buzz and you already know what you're doing. Because let's say a record label comes to you with a contract and you may not like it, you still know the game of how you've been doing it to continue to have your own success. Some artists may not know that. Yeah.
It could be an artist out there right now, y'all, that we don't even really know about. They're just kind of bubbling is doing this.
Some artists probably don't know how to navigate music by themselves without a record label guiding them along the way. Because the record label does a lot.
Here's the thing, I was gonna say, you're making more revenue, but you might be paying more people. A record label is gonna pay for your clothes, your car, it's gonna pay for your marketing, your advertising, the production. But if you're doing it all by yourself, you gotta hire people to do that.
Well, social media makes it a lot better now.
Yeah.
You can just get a camera and shoot your own music video and put it on the internet,
But
and it could blow up.
but you still gotta pay there's video editors, you gotta pay people.
Well, yeah, but
You know what I
it's not
mean?
like a record label where you had to put it on MTV or BET or whatever 30 years ago.
Right, but I guess what I'm saying is you're making it's like owning your own business. You own your own business, you own your own music, but now you gotta pay people to distribute it. You gotta pay people to get it made. Like you're in control, but you gotta versus working for a company, they're gonna do that for you.
And sometimes you look at it like, okay, I'm an artist. Do I want to be known by hundreds and thousands of people, or do I want to be known by millions and billions? So I'm known by hundreds and thousands of people, so I'm getting a bigger cut. But if I'm known by more, I'm getting a smaller cut, which is backwards, but it's kind of crazy.
I think if you're the archetype of a person who wants their own stuff anyway, like doesn't want to be I think that's more along the lines of the thousands of people. Because I feel like if you're that type of person, you're already kind of more along those. I'm gonna have my niche of people. Someone who wants to be heard by millions of people, they're gonna take that deal when the record label hits them up.
They just want to be famous.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, good answers, y'all. Good discussion. Good topic. I hope y'all can tune in, get something from this. Like I said, let's rap about rap. Having a pool table discussion. VillainTalk, keeping it 500. Thank y'all, Keisha, for coming out. Thank y'all, Jordan, for coming out, giving us honest, good answers. Y'all comment, tell me how y'all feel about this. Y'all have a good night. One.